stuck in here with me, the Cotton Candy Club.
Cotton Candy Club?
Yes. I'll give you cavities.
I don't see Shaggy and Scooby anywhere.
The poor guys are probably running around helpless and terrified.
This is like the greatest day of our lives! Finally, a monster we can sink our teeth into! Scoob, I'm kind of thirsty. I wonder if there's a liter-sized soda glob anywhere.
Come on, guys. We have to hurry.
The sun was setting over Coolsville as Shaggy Rogers munched on a giant sub sandwich in the Mystery Machine. Like, man, I wish I had powers to fight monsters, he muttered, shoveling in a mouthful of ham. Suddenly, a glowing spider, strange with neon green eyes and a tiny M on its back, crawled out of the sandwich wrapper and bit him. Open quote, Zoinks! That's not a spider, that's a radioactive spider. Like, why does this always happen to me? Close quote. Within minutes, Shaggy's body tingled. His senses sharpened, his reflexes improved, and, most shockingly, he could now shoot spaghetti strands from his wrists instead of webs. Open quote. Whoa! I'm like Spider-Man, but with pasta! He gasped, accidentally firing a noodle that glued his shoelaces together. Not ideal. Close quote. Meanwhile, at the Coolsville Museum, the gang was investigating the latest monster outbreak. The Creeper, the Wolfman, and even a giant rubber chicken, because why not, were rampaging through town. Fred adjusted his ascot nervously. Open quote, Gang, we've got to stop these monsters before they, close quote. Zoom. Shaggy zoomed past them on a unicycle, wearing a homemade Spider-Man suit made of orange and purple plaid. Open quote, like, I'm here to help, I'm Shaggy Man. Close quote. Velma squinted. Open quote, Shaggy, your suit is just a tablecloth, and why are you riding a unicycle? Close quote. Open quote. Because spider powers don't include balance, Daphne, he yelled, crashing into a trash can. Close quote. The creeper lunged at Scooby. Shaggy tried to web it up, but accidentally shot a strand of linguine into Scooby's mouth. Open quote. Ruro, I'm choking him. Shaggy screamed. Close quote. Scooby coughed, then swallowed the spaghetti and burped. Open quote. Roque, close quote. Fred tried to set a trap, but Shaggy kept helping by flinging meatballs at the Wolfman, who slipped and face-planted into a pile of confetti. Open quote, like I'm so good at this. Shaggy cheered. Close quote. Then, disaster. The monster maker, a guy in a lab coat who looked suspiciously like a guy who ran a pizzeria, activated his machine, and the monsters grew to giant size. The gang scattered as the creeper chased them toward a cliff. Open quote, Shaggy, save us. Daphne screamed. Close quote, Shaggy froze. Open quote, like I can't. What if I mess up again? What if I, close quote. Thud. The creeper knocked over a billboard which crushed Fred's car. Open quote, Fred, no! Shaggy wailed, rushing to the rubble. Close quote. He lifted the sign with one hand, his new spider strength, and pulled out Fred, only to find Fred was fine, wearing an I My Car shirt. Open quote, dude, I was under the car, it's a trick. Close quote. Shaggy sighed. Open quote, like, you scared me half to death, but also, why is there a shirt under a car? Close quote. The villain cackled. Open quote, you're too weak to stop me, noodle boy. Close quote. Shaggy thought of Uncle Ben's lesson, but in this case it was, with great spaghetti strands comes great responsibility, and also maybe a nap. He fired a web of spaghetti at the machine, but it just stuck to the villain's shoes. Open quote, sorry, like I'm out of ideas. Close quote. Then Scooby, who'd been hiding in a taco truck, popped out with a remote control. Open quote. Ruh, ruh. Close quote. He pressed a button, and the machine exploded in a shower of glitter and glittery spaghetti. The monster maker turned out to be Mr. Wickles, the museum curator, who'd been mad they fired him for over-serving garlic bread. Open quote. I just wanted recognition, he sobbed, now covered in marinara sauce. Close quote. Back at the Mystery Machine, the gang celebrated with pizza. No spiders this time. Shaggy flexed his pasta webs. Open quote, like, I'm still not a hero, but I did save the day with spaghetti. That's like the coolest thing ever. Close quote. Velma adjusted her glasses. Open quote, technically, Scooby saved us with the remote. Close quote. Scooby grinned, holding up a world's best dog trophy he'd stolen from the museum. Fred nodded. Open quote, and I got a new car. It's a taco truck now. Close quote. Shaggy shrugged. Open quote, like, whatever, as long as there's food and no more spiders. Zoinks. Close quote. The gang was enjoying a rare peaceful day at Coolsville Beach. Shaggy was napping under a palm tree, a giant taco balanced on his stomach. Open quote, like peace and quiet. No monsters, no villains, just me and my... Close quote. Boom! A massive energy blast ripped through the sand, sending Shaggy flying into a cooler full of ice cream. Open quote. Zoinks! What was that? He yelped, covered in sprinkles. Close quote. Velma adjusted her glasses, squinting at the horizon. Open quote. That was not a thunderstorm. And look, Scooby's collar is glowing. Close quote. Scooby's red collar flickered with eerie blue light. Open quote. Roo, Roo, he whined, suddenly clutching his chest. Close quote. Fred pointed at a towering figure in a lab coat. Open quote. That's Dr. Zarkov, Mr. Wickles' former assistant. He's got the monster amplifier. Close quote. Dr. Zarkov cackled, waving a device that hummed with dangerous energy. Open quote. The original monster maker was amateur. With this, I'll create monsters that can actually destroy the world. And first, you, Scooby-Doo. Close quote. Before anyone could react, Zarkov fired a beam. Scooby tried to shield Daphne, but took the full hit. He collapsed, his fur shimmering like a broken TV screen. Open quote. Scooby, Shaggy screamed, rushing to his side. Close quote. Scooby's breathing was shallow, his eyes glazed over. Velma checked him frantically. Open quote. The beam's destabilizing his cellular structure. If we don't shut down that amplifier in 10 minutes, he'll... Close quote. Open quote. No. Shaggy's voice cracked. This is my fault. I'm supposed to be Spider-Man, but I can't even protect my best friend. Like, what kind of hero am I? Close quote. They raced to Zarkov's lair, a repurposed seafood restaurant. Inside, the monster amplifier pulsed like a heartbeat, powering a grotesque fusion of the creeper, wolfman, and a giant rubber chicken. Because why not? Fred and Daphne tried to distract it, but the monster swatted them aside like toys. Open quote. Shaggy, you need to get to the control room. Velma yelled over the chaos. The amplifier's core is vulnerable to a 47.3 hertz frequency. Use your spaghetti strands to reroute the power. Close quote. Open quote. Ruo. Scooby weakly whimpered, struggling to stand. His legs wobbled and he collapsed again. Shaggy froze, staring at his trembling hands. Open quote. I can't do it. I'm not strong enough. I'm just Shaggy. Close quote. Scooby looked up at him, then slowly reached out with his paw. In his mouth was Shaggy's old remote control, the one from part 1. Open quote. Roke, he whispered, pressing a button. Close quote. The remote sparked, and a holographic map of the control room appeared. Open quote. Scoob, you always know what to do. Close quote. Shaggy swung through the restaurant on spaghetti strands, now glowing blue from the amplifier's energy, dodging falling shrimp fryers and flying crab legs. But the monster caught up, slamming him into a wall of frozen fish. Open quote. You're nothing without Scooby, it roared. Close quote. Shaggy's vision blurred. He thought of Uncle Ben's lesson. Open quote. With great spaghetti strands comes great responsibility. Close quote. But this time it wasn't about fear. It was about love. He stood up, spaghetti strands whipping around him like a shield. Open quote. I'm not a hero, but I'm Scooby's friend. And that's enough. Close quote. He shot a strand straight into the amplifier's core. The machine overloaded, sparks flying. The monster charged. Open quote. Shaggy, jump! Velma screamed. Close quote. Shaggy turned just in time to see the monster's claw aimed at Scooby, who was still weakly trying to crawl toward the control panel. Without thinking, Shaggy threw himself in front of Scooby. The claw struck his back, and he felt a searing pain. But he held on, wrapping his spaghetti strands around the monster's arm. Open quote, like, no one hurts my best friend, he growled, muscles straining. Close quote. The amplifier exploded in a shower of glitter and confetti. The monster dissolved into harmless rubber and foam. Dr. Zarkov was arrested after tripping over a bucket of clam chowder. And Shaggy? He was alive, but barely. At the local vet's office, which in Coolsville was just a converted taco truck, Scooby sat beside Shaggy's stretcher, licking his face. Open quote. Ruh. Shaggy, he whispered, nuzzling his friend. Close quote. Shaggy groaned. Open quote. Like my back feels like I ate a whole pizza. And the box. Close quote. Velma adjusted her glasses. Open quote, Shaggy's ribs are bruised, but he'll recover. And Scooby's cellular stability is back to normal. The amplifier's energy actually repaired some of his DNA. He's stronger now. Close quote. Scooby wagged his tail, then hopped onto Shaggy's stretcher. Open quote, Roque, he said, pressing his paw against Shaggy's chest. Roque, close quote. Fred handed Shaggy a get well card made from a pizza box. Daphne brought flowers, actually fake, but Scooby ate them anyway. Open quote, Rue, he said, chewing happily. Close quote. Shaggy smiled, tears in his eyes. Open quote, like, I'm still scared of everything, but I'm not alone, and that's all that matters. Close quote. Scooby nuzzled him, then pulled a Scooby snack from his collar. Open quote, Rue, for you. Close quote. Shaggy took it, biting into it with a laugh. Open quote, best hero ever. Close quote. And so, Coolsville was saved, not by a superhero, but by a scaredy cat, a dog who never quit, and a taco truck that doubled as a hospital.